United National Congress, UNC, Deputy Political Leader Dr. David Lee yesterday called on Minister of Energy Stuart Young to stop playing the blame game and take responsibility for the loss of $1.3 billion by the national gas company of TNT. On Thursday at a news conference, Young said the current chairman and the board of NGC are not to be blamed for the billion-dollar loss incurred by the wholly state-owned natural gas distribution company. Young said the loss by NGC in 2023 was primarily attributable to the purchase by it of the 39% shareholding in Phoenix Park Gas Processors Ltd. from U.S. energy giant ConocoPhillips, which he said was at an overvalued price in 2013. Secondly, one of the worst contracts a government has entered into any energy sector in 2014/2015 with CGCL, which continues to cost us, the citizens, billions of dollars in losses, and will continue, the accountants say. And that is the truth as to why NGC has suffered these losses, said Young, who pointed out that NGC had been on course to record a profit if these contracts were not in place. In a news release yesterday, Lee, the UNC's shadow energy minister, said it was utterly embarrassing that despite being in office for almost a decade, the only answer that Young and the government have for this nation's energy collapse is blame the UNC. If we are to believe the deluded proposition put forward by Minister Young that a loss by the NGC in 2023 is due to the UNC's decisions in 2013, then are the profits of the NGC for 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2021, and 2022, due to the UNC? That's the intellectually challenging, bereft of common sense rationale Minister Young wants the country to digest, Lee lamented. He bemoaned that governance of a country and governance of the energy sector is not a game of snakes and ladders. It is about taking responsibility for all that happens under your leadership. It is about accepting the crisis that has happened under your government and correcting it. All of which this government has failed to do in 9 years. Facts will always be more powerful than Minister Young's regular fiction, Lee said, noting that the facts show that Minister Young must take responsibility for the lowest oil production in 50 years. The facts show that Minister Young must take responsibility for the lowest gas production in over a decade. The facts show that this government must take responsibility for the most plant closures in our history. With a track record lined with significant failure, crisis, and closure in the energy sector, emerging from the hatchet job on Petrotrin, numerous failed bid rounds to the collapse of Nichuan, no logical citizen can accept that the NGC's failings are due to a past administration. It is simply yet another blunder of this government, Lee added. In his report on the company's audited 2023 financials, NGC Chairman Joseph Ismail Khan said the $1.3 billion loss for last year reflects the impact of a sharp reduction in international energy commodity prices and a one-time, non-cash impairment of $1.5 billion for goodwill. Goodwill is the difference between the purchase price of a company and the fair market value of the target company's assets. In explaining the goodwill impairment, NGC executives at a news conference on December 12 said in 2013, the company paid ConocoPhillips $3.8 billion, $600 million to acquire the U.S. energy company's 39% stake in Phoenix Park Gas Processors, PPGPL. NGC said it recorded goodwill of $2.3 billion on the acquisition of the 39% stake, which suggests that the fair value of PPGPL's assets in 2013 was $1.5 billion.